You gotta shoot at 60 frames per second. Come on,
They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. As if they make the wrong move and coach shit. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up, I'm about to bullshit. They see me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my body, real niggas right beside me. Damn right, I brought my army, going up like a rocket, and can't nobody stop me. These niggas garbage, so watch your mouth, boy. Coming all black, slithering house, call me mouth, boy. I'm off the hip like a cowboy. I'm a king, you should bow, boy. Show it like that, man, you cut up. Nothing I can handle. 144 in the booth, going Rambo. Niggas do you dirty like a stick in a bando. That's why I play the corner like a bum with a banjo. I'ma lead by example. Keep on sobbing, got this bitch off the hand, got this juice, got the drip, about to hit the bitch with the salt. It ain't rap, it's assault. Can't taste a bitch unless you with the coke. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. As if they make the wrong move and coach shit. Hey! One way, one way, one way, one way, one way. Coming up on my I do it how a veteran be. You better than me. I'm Reggie at the edge of the key. It's all money, no honey. Think you settle and see. You locked up, fucked up, and it's back to the streets. It's One West. You can check the residency. I reside with soldiers died on the soles of their feet. Cause there's death before designer. Ain't no coward in me. Cause I'm cold as a bitch's shoulder. You ain't calling a week. Get the cooking on this beat. Hope you like it well done. Got them killers rolling with me. Like a legend in this shit, lil nigga, I'm past veteran. Never feeling third, lil nigga, I'm past second. Guns, I gotta have them all like Ash Ketchum. Shotty break a nigga ribs up like his wife left him. We all steppin', kill you with kindness cause I'm dead nice. That 5'7" put you 6 feet, not talking height. That judge giving out 5, but you doing life. These hands are rude GPS, a mean right. That's mean right, we build different, you know the vibes. And we stamped and authentic, we notarized. I keep a 144 because I know a cod. Know it's arc, you know I'm with animals when we flowin' by. We back again, no cap, when I'm with cap again. Yeah, they say they want smoking, so we matching them. Everything righteous, so you know when we get back at them, you get hit up with a K, but no acronym. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. These niggas claiming that they bullshit. These niggas better move and coach shit. As if they make the wrong move and coach shit. You see me, they like, ooh, keep on stopping. I'm on my way up and they ain't gon' stop it. They say they wanna hear that raw shit. Coming up on by the bullshit.
And the box.
Joining conference now.
Hey, Shalom on Christ. Who we got online?
Shalom, y'all about some of the I was a couple guys online.
Shalom, y'all took it down. What's going on, warrior? Yeah, man, coming up in the class, class, you know. We got a little light topic today, you know. About to chop it up.
Excellent, yeah.
One West till they bury me. I'm One West till they bury me.
No, that's
One West till they bury me. I be One West till the death till they bury me. One West till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. They ain't scaring me. Rip the soul out of Pharisee. Speaking heresy, it get you fucked up apparently. It's like they daring me. I said chill, they ain't hearing me. They ain't listening. Every bar nitroglycerin. Hit your heart, bring it back to start, make you live again. Get them dividends, or we start getting ignorant. I be on that soldier shit. I told you shit phenomenal. Nah, but he a domino. So what you suckers trying to do? Rhyming comical, guess it's funny until I'm bombing you. Bring apocalypse to the pussy niggas that's popping shit. Team of all-stars, I coach them up like I'm Popovich. Fuck the politics and the lobbyists and apologists. They vagina, so we gon' check them like gynecologist. It's kinda obvious how the situation is ominous. The way I vomit this and regurgitate for the audience. It's all applauding this cause the competition is fraudulent. From the era where niggas smoke you up like a parliament. The flow been stupid, shit has gotten retarded since all the dominance. One West rising to prominent. Cause I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. They want a nigga quiet, mute my maneuvers, but I ride like I got group times for Uber. Rhymes hard like they been viewed by Medusa. 9 milli Luger, 17 in the Ruger. Only need a few to sit up in your medulla. Obligata for the regatta niggas while they win every dollar. They riding by in black Impalas, let the city holler. A showstopper, been as proper since the teeny bopper. But now I'm throwing them off Patron, a premium of vodka. I put extensions on the Glock, modify the chopper. The swore heavy, war ready, and that's worth the mama. No marijuana, say I got the loudest silence on it. When I'm up on it, ain't no rapper do it like I do it. A lot of spitties and writers, but when they eat song, none of them can get to the fire around with me. And I had a nigga spin like a tire, but down the deep, and I'm still dope as a piper. Every bar burn hard like a spoon with a lighter. Fuel to igniter, I'm winning, coming through with the title because U.P.K. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me. I be one West to the death till they bury me. I'm one West till they bury me.
I got the bar. Oh, it looked like it was ready.
I already had it ready.
Oh, okay, shit.
Light it?
Yeah. Yes. Go ahead.
Yeah. On 44 shit, you know what I mean? Busy man, busy man. Look, when that shit drop, you step all the way on their neck, step on their neck and they head with that shit.
Fine then, I ain't show no mercy, we gon' show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it, got it out the mud, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel, he nice but he don't show them skills, how I show them skills. He ride but he don't work the wheel, how I work the wheel. They mad, I'm too solid, circle tight, yeah, vacuum seal. No, they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rank for real. I got real soldiers, kill for me, nigga, watch yourself. They say you been in that shit on lock till I snapped on them like bolt cutters. You cannot play both sides, gotta choose your colors. See him throwing that one up with that W, that's my blood, bro. Fine in. I ain't show no mercy, I'm gonna show them boy what time it is. I pop out like I'm Samuel, I got time to kill. Haters thought I died, I survived. They don't know how I did it. Got it out the dust, straight to glory. They don't know how I feel. He's nice, but he don't show the skills how I show the skills. He ride, but he don't work the wheel how I work the wheel. Ooh, I got a man, circle tight, yeah, back and still. Said they want my life, I ain't worried, I got rain for real. You ain't no Israelite, but you a gospelite, bitch. Fuck you talking about? If that nigga won't war, bitch, we ready. It ain't hard to find us. Hawk, I keep that stick locked, loaded, but he'll fade your line up. Young nigga name is Slayer. What you think, boy? You be done to try. Soft coast shit, we bout it. UPK, shoot solid. Little bitch think I'm crazy, think I'm playing like bitch, I ain't the one. Warfare every day, so who is you, bitch? I don't need your love. Killers right round the way. What you think? I love this brotherhood, hood. More than you, bitch. Sharp on shit, I'm bout it. UPK, shoot solid. Fuck nigga don't want war. It ain't enough clips in your army. All the bitches wanna take my piece. All they hoes wanna take my piece. All they niggas wanna take my piece. No, I can't let a dog take it from me. I can't let a dog take it from me. You a hoe study and you dummy. And these bitches really out these bitches walking around like they don't know nothing. And a lame nigga fall for them and get set up for the coins and get gunned down, man down. Shoulda took the time, get a damn no. But I see the sorrow and I show her. She could never get a piece hoe. You a dirt ass, rust that neck, bitch. With
Are we live in the posture? All right, Most High in Christ. Yahweh Yahshua Barakatah. Salaki, Shalom, Lord in Christ to the brothers. Shalom, Lord in Christ to the sisters. I'm Officer 1000, Ricard Karab. We're about to start Tuesday's Brotherhood class. We got anybody else new on the line on the conference call? Somebody got to mute their phone too. Go ahead.
It's like the other one, if I could, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
It come cut through. So it's a bad reverb on the line. It's a little reverb on the line. The echo.
Okay, hey, Sluggy, they said it's an echo online. Anybody else hear the echo?
No, you too wild, not sir.
Okay, we too wild. Okay, Most High in Christ, we too wild. All right, today we about to talk about, taking back your inheritance, man. You understand? Because when you grow up being a Black, Hispanic, and Native American in this kingdom, in this world, in a world that's ruled by the so-called oppressor, they'll make it think that you don't have no inheritance. You understand? Like you just here to just serve them, and that's it. And you die, and that's it. You gotta wait to get your kingdom, and you pretty much here just being a servant,
right?
Some type of modern slave or slave, some type of bound down to where you can't really do nothing. Even if you so-called want to find yourself having money or riches or fame, you still in some type of way bound down to where if you do what you really want to do, they're gonna take everything from you. You know what I'm saying? But the scripture shows us that we have the most important inheritance out of everybody or all the other nations in this world. And that's this kingdom. That's this earth. You understand? We're going to prove to you scripturally and biblically that this kingdom, this earth, was made for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to rule.
Right.
You understand? So with that, we're going to start off with, give me Baruch. Chapter 4 and 1. I believe that's in your pocket.
Kind of.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull it too, Salaki. Let me pull it too. Let me know when you got it.
Kind of.
Go ahead.
Con. You said 4 and 1, right?
Yeah, Khan.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God.
Right. This is the book of the commandments of God, man. This book was not written by men like they like to tell you. It was written by man, but it was inspired by God. This is not a man's own opinion. This is not what we think. This is what the Lord told us to write down in this book. You know what I mean? The previous prophets of our kingdom, of our nation. This is the book of the commandments of God. So anybody want to talk about they know God or they follow God, if they're not doing what's in this book, they do not know God.
Right.
You understand? Keep going.
Kind. And the law that endureth forever.
And the law that do what?
Endureth forever.
Right. The law that endure forever. That means that this law lasts forever. There's no such thing as this law has been done away with, like your Christian pastor like to teach you.
Right.
You understand? It's right here in these scriptures. This law lasts forever. Somebody got to mute me online, Salakia, or on the phone. If you're listening to the class, you might got to mute yourself. Go ahead.
Kan. All they that keep it shall come to life.
Right. If you keep the law, statutes, and commandments, this is what brings you to be able to come to life, man. You understand? Just because you actually breathing and you walk on the earth don't mean that you're alive. You're like a damn zombie, man.
Right.
You understand? You doing whatever sins you want to do, and long behold, you're going to die by those same sins that you're doing, man. You understand? This book and these laws, statutes, and commandments in this book is what makes you come alive. This is what makes you be able to live and to prolong your life on earth, man.
Right.
You understand? Go ahead.
But such as leave it shall die.
Right. Such as leave it shall die, man. You understand? And this goes for anybody. You know what I'm saying? If you're not following the law, statutes, and commandments, you know what I'm saying? That's what you're doing is going to be your ultimate demise, the reason why you perish. You understand? Especially if you come into the school and then you decide to leave the school. You know what I'm saying? This is just what's in this book. We know that we are alive by following the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. You understand? Keep going. Read verse 2.
Kan, verse 2. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take heed of it.
Take hold of it. Or do you see heed?
Salaki, I see heed.
Okay, no sweat. Keep going.
And take heed of it.
Right. Heed means to do. You understand? Like to hold on to it.
Right.
You understand? Heed and hold is like the same thing. But when you take heed of something, that means you're listening.
Right.
And you're going to do it. Go ahead.
Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated.
Right. These laws, statutes, commandments was cause us to be illuminated, to be a light. You understand? Not you just, the best basketball player, or you the best track runner, or you the best singer. That's not going to cause you to be illuminated. In this kingdom, yeah, you might get famous. People might like you. People might even idolize you being ignorant. You understand? But to really, truly be a light is to do these laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand? Keep going.
Come. Verse 3. Salaki, verse 3. Give not thine honor to another.
Listen, that is a heavy statement, man. That is a heavy scripture. Why does it say give not thy honor to another? Anybody know? What does it mean when it says give not thy honor to another? Go ahead.
Salaki, sir.
Speaking of
Salaki, sir, if I may, in context, are they speaking of the law, statutes, and commandments to not give away our birthright or covenant?
Well, we wouldn't be able to give away your birthright or your covenant. You know what I mean? Because we know that the Lord only made a covenant with one people.
Right.
And he's not going to make a covenant with nobody else. Even in the new covenant, where they like to tell you in Jeremiah 31 and 33, it tells you that even a new covenant is with the people of the children of Israel. You understand? So this is not necessarily saying, giving away the covenant.
Okay.
You understand? Anybody else want to take a shot? What does it mean in the scripture where it says, Salaki, what does it mean in the scripture where it says, give not thine honor to another? Go ahead, somebody online. Yeah, go ahead.
Does that mean, like, don't let go your God-given culture, your God-given the culture, the law, statutes, and commandments?
You onto it, it does deal with that, but we wouldn't be giving away the law, statutes, and commandments because we know that the Lord didn't make didn't give the law, statutes, and commandments to any other nation. That's in Psalms 147.
Right.
And you know what I mean? And even now, the other nations do not follow the law, statutes, and commandments.
That's right.
They'll never follow the law, statutes, and commandments. It's up to us to follow the law, statutes, and commandments, raise our people up so our King Yahushua and the Hebrew can return, and we gonna through him, under him, from the Most High in Christ. You understand? We're going to subdue the world to make them follow the law, statutes, and commandments. But no, it wouldn't necessarily be saying, you know, you giving over the law, statutes, and commandments. Anybody? Somebody else said Salaki? Go ahead.
It basically saying like say for instance, like you got Martin Luther King, right? Now you honor Martin Luther King, you know what I'm saying? You start doing the same thing he did, you know what I'm saying? As far as like, you know, the law, I mean the sins and everything he did, you know, you follow his footsteps when you honor him like that.
Well, yeah, y'all onto it. You know what I'm saying? That's how you give over your honor. You know what I mean? Let's not use Martin Luther King, but that's how you give over your honor. You give over your honor by following other nations.
Right.
That's how you give up your honor.
Right.
You understand? Go ahead.
Salaki, sir, if I may.
Go ahead.
Give it another try here. Is it saying like how we consider how you know, Israelites today consider the Bible to be a white man's book? Is it like that, like giving them the dominion over the book and giving them the credit?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily. I'm gonna get one more person to try. Somebody online said Salaki. Go ahead.
Come on, sir. I guess if you're looking at even the definition of the word honor is your respect. So you're giving that away.
Right, but you're right. Yeah, it gives giving away your respect. But what does it mean in this context of like, how would you be giving your honor away? So I'm gonna just give it to you. Go ahead, read it from the top.
Khan. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 3. Give not thine honor to another.
Right. We start off with verse 2.
Oh, Khan. Verse 2. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take heed of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated.
Right. What is it talking about? Walking in the presence of the scriptures, right? The law, statutes, and commandments. Keep going.
Khan. Give not thine honor to another.
Go ahead.
Nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation.
Right. You understand? We got to follow the law, statutes, and commandments so we can rule the kingdom. When we don't follow the law, statutes, and commandments, we're giving our honor away because we're allowing other nations to rule the world. We're allowing other nations to take over us and benefit and profit off of us.
Right.
If we follow these scriptures, then we will profit from it.
Right.
We will be the rulers of the earth.
Right.
We will be the rulers of the nations.
Khan.
You understand? But if you don't, you're giving that honor to another. You're allowing another nation to rule over you.
Right.
Because you don't want to serve your God. You want to serve their God.
Right.
You understand? Serving their God is not going to put you on top. That's going to put you on the bottom. Not only that, serving their God is a sin, according to the Bible. Not only is it a sin to serve their God, but the things that you end up doing because you're serving their God is going to cause you to even sin. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get into that even more. Because when you talk about sin, right? Sin is something that the Lord does not want us to do, right? It's something in the Bible that he put out a law to not do. And most of the time it's due to, being clean or causing, division or spreading disease. That's what it's dealt with, because the Lord called us to be a holy people, separate. And he calls us to be pure, clean. You understand? So when you're doing sin, a lot of it taints you. You understand? But when you're doing sin, what also is sin synonymous with? Following another culture.
When you're breaking up a little bit.
Is it on the online or on the phone? It might be because of it might be because of the connection. I know it's raining. We got a little raining a storm going on, so it might be messing up with the service on the phone. You said Salakia?
Okay, come on, I think it's well right there, sir.
All right, ain't no sweat. You understand? But sin is also. Go ahead.
Salakia, sir. I had a precept, if I may.
Yeah, give me 1 sec. Sin is also synonymous with following other nations.
Right.
You understand? Because when you follow another nation, they're going to, like, for instance, we're going to get it. Matter of fact, we'll get into it later. You got that precept? That's one of my scriptures later. We'll get into it later. Go ahead. So like your brother in the class got a precept. We're going to let him read the precept first.
This is the book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4. Whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law.
Right. Sin is the transgression of the law. Like the Christian pastor would like to teach you that the law is done away with.
Right.
But yet they'll say that you can sin.
Right.
Well, how can you sin if sin is the transgression of the law?
Right.
That would mean that a law has to be in effect for it to be even considered a sin.
That's right.
You understand? So he's absolutely right about that. Somebody said Salaki online. Oh yeah, y'all Bashem Yashab Brakatah. What's going on with you, priest?
I'm 12. I don't want you 12.
Yeah, Most High Christ. I'm too wild. We getting it rolling and cracking in here.
That's right.
All right. Oh, somebody else said Salaki?
Yeah, come to time, special. I'm gonna have about some at the time. I was my shop checking in.
Y'all Bashem Yashab Brakatah. What's going on with y'all? Samashali doing too wild?
Yeah, we too wild. I was going in and out everywhere on my side, but we too wild.
Yeah, I was dealing with that same thing before I came to class. So, you know what I mean? We got a storm, but hey, that's not going to stop class. He can't stop the storm, ain't going to stop the Lord work.
That's right.
The Most High Christ.
Damn right out of one.
All right, read verse 3 again for me.
Khan Adawan Khan. Salaki.
Sorry, the brother just getting Baruch chapter 4, verses 3. We was at verse 3.
Khan Khan. This is the book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
Give not thine honor to another.
Right. Give not your honor to another, man. You understand? That's what we got to realize. Stop trying to follow other nations just to make it in this kingdom. Right. You understand? You might be rich. You might got your money. You can buy whatever you want to buy, do what you want to do in this kingdom, but you're not realizing that you should be ruling it, man.
Right.
You understand? Like we so short-minded that we can't realize that if we follow our own culture, we follow our own God, to hell with begging and doing all this to try to get money in this one, they gonna be giving us their money, man.
Right.
You understand? You talk about tithes, you talking about tithes and taxes. You got to pay taxes to Uncle Sam. Imagine if Uncle Sam and them had to pay taxes to you. You know what I mean? All the other nations got to pay taxes to you. That's what it means in the scripture where it say the gates shall be open, all the 12 gates, and the gates shall be open all the time. That's because they coming in to pay taxes to you, man. You understand? That's what we got to fathom in our mind, man. You know what I mean? We want to follow other nations, not realizing that that is actually the ultimate, it's ultimately our demise. That's the reason why we're at the bottom.
Right.
You understand? Keep going.
Nor the things that are profitable unto thee to a strange nation.
Right. You making all this money, but yet there's a strange nation that's making more money than you and benefiting off of your work, benefiting off of whatever you do. You know, yeah, you LeBron James, you Michael Jordan, you own your own shoes, you making all this money, but guess who's making more money than you? That so-called oppressor that's over you. You understand? That's the one that's making. We should be those, dude. That's what we should be. We shouldn't be okay because we're talented, we're making this amount of money. No, we should be the ones that's over the company.
Right.
The ones that's getting all the royalties and getting all that. You know what I'm saying? That's what we should be doing, man. But when you follow another nation, you're giving your inheritance away. That's what you're essentially doing. You understand? The Lord said you would inherit the world, but you want to follow them, so now they over the world. Go ahead.
So we should be the ones that loan them money and make them pay.
That's how the kingdom gonna be. If they want to, in the kingdom, when we rule under Yahushua, our king, which is under the Most High, our God, Yahweh in the Hebrew, right? When we rule, that's what's going to happen. If they want to build a building, if they want to build a chicken joint, or if they want to build whatever the hell they want to build, they're not going to just be able to just go and do it.
Right.
They're going to have to bring all their paperwork, all their stuff, all their information to get approved for it to see if they're worthy of doing it to us.
Right.
And so one of us is going to have to approve it. You know what I mean? A Black, Hispanic, and Native American is going to have to sit there and look at it and be like, okay, I'll give you the loan. You know what I mean? And they're going to have to pay back on interest on it.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's how the kingdom should be. You know what I mean? In this kingdom, we can't even go get a damn loan.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But in the next kingdom, they're going to be coming to us to get loans. You understand? So that's exactly how it should be if we follow the Most High.
Right.
You understand? Somebody said Salaki online? Yeah, go ahead.
I'll go there another one. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
It was that what you was bringing up because blacks dominated the NBA. They dominated. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But all the owners are white. I think he probably would. Michael Jordan, he's probably a partial owner. He's not even a full owner. But what they do is they'll pay you a couple million, but what they getting on the back end, and then they'll all share the money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just to keep you in oppression and think you're doing something. That's what's going on in the NBA and the NFL.
Right.
And
you know,
probably, I'm not for sure, but probably soccer too, because you got most of the Israelite brothers, you know what I'm saying, and Dominican and Puerto Ricans in that sport. So it's just oppression all the way around.
right. Baseball too. Right. Baseball too. You know what I mean? Like you got to think, okay, yeah, LeBron James, and I'll just use him because he's like, you know, while playing basketball, the first billionaire. You know what I mean? He makes the most money, right? So I'll use LeBron James. Everybody's coming to the Lakers arena to see LeBron James play.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like they're not coming to see the owner, Jeannie Buss.
Right.
They're coming to see LeBron James, Anthony Davis. That's who's the attraction. You know what I mean? So they're making all the money. And yeah, LeBron makes millions off of it, but Jeannie Buss is making billions.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Some type of oppressor is making billions of dollars off of them coming to the game, but you're the attraction. You know what I mean? That you're absolutely right about that. So like I had somebody else online real quick. Yeah, go ahead.
So, okay, I see what you're saying. So there's if I mean there's a scripture in Deuteronomy 28 verse what did it say? Verse 43 where it say the stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high.
Right.
And thou shalt come down very low. So when you go back to Baruch chapter 4, so what you're saying is it's give not thine honor to another. It's saying don't. So you're saying it's saying don't put ourselves in a position to where we allow the other nations to get above us, to rule over us.
Correct. And how do you allow another nation to rule above you? Absolutely right. And how do you allow another nation to rule above you, to get above you?
Shalakia by not keeping the law, statutes, and commandments.
Right. Damn right. And by following them, by not keeping your laws, that's statutes and commandments that the Lord gave you, but you want to follow the other nation. You want to do what they do. That's how we got in this situation now. We wanted to do what the other nations wanted to do. You know, the Lord told us what we had to do, but we didn't want to do it. We want to go ahead and do what another nation wanted to do.
Right.
And so now that's why we're in the position that we are. But Salaki, for time, so we're gonna keep going. Keep reading on that. Give me verse 4.
Kanawakan. O Israel, Salakia. O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to God are made known unto us.
Right, and that's why it's crazy they say that this is a white man's book, because only a Black, Hispanic, and Native American could crack this book and actually understand.
Right.
You know what I mean? The Lord only gave this to us. He only allowed what he wants to be known to us. He only allowed the secrets of the earth, secrets of everything to the Black, Hispanic, and Native American.
That's right.
He only gave his laws and commandments to us.
That's right.
He didn't give it to no other nation, man. You understand? Keep going.
Kanawakan. Verse 5. Be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel.
Right. Keep going.
Verse 6. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your not for your destruction.
Right. We wasn't sold to the other nations to get rid of us. For us to be destroyed.
Right.
Go ahead.
But because you moved God to wrath, ye were delivered unto the enemies.
Right. That's why. You understand? We made God angry. Keep going.
Verse 7. For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not to God.
Right. And that's our problem now, man. You understand? Rather than giving God the Most High, Yahweh in the Hebrew, his reference, you understand? We want to give the so-called oppressor the reference.
Right.
We want to give, whatever the hell sin you want to do. You smoke weed, you want to give Asia the reference.
Right.
Because that's Asian culture, man.
Right.
You understand? You want to wear dreads in your head, that's East Indian culture. You want to worship Shiva or whoever, Gandhi, Bindi, I don't give a damn. Whoever. That's who you want to worship. You know what I'm saying? If you want to worship, what else is it? You want to be a homosexual?
Right.
You want to be a homosexual? That's Egypt. We're going to get into it. That's Egyptian culture.
Right.
You understand? You want to praise Allah, sell drugs? That's Allah culture, man.
Right.
None of that is Black, Hispanic, and Native American culture. The Lord told us not to do it.
Right.
So when you want to do it, and that's why I say when you do a sin, you're worshiping another God, first of all. But not only that, you're practicing another culture that was not given to you. You know what I'm saying? You can name any sin on earth, and that's some culture, that's some other nation's culture. That's what they do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, smoking weed, that's Asian culture. They started smoking weed as a ritual to their Asian gods.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You want to be a homosexual? That's why you have Horus or whoever the hell with a rod, Oreb with a rod in his mouth.
Right.
That's their culture. Gab, there you go. Gab, that's their culture. You know what I mean? Any type of sin that you can think of, you know what I mean? Messing with whores. That's from Roman, Greco, you know what I mean? Period. Even before then.
Right.
Where they just, orgies and sleeping with whoever and don't give a damn. That's their culture. That's what they do. They do it as a what? As a representation to worship their God.
Right.
That's what they do to worship their God. You know what I'm saying? So that's why we say we can't do that, man. You understand? The Lord gave us laws, statutes, and commandments that we need to follow. Right. Somebody says, Salaka, you can drop that. Give me where I want to go. Give me Psalms 2 and 8. Somebody says, Salaka, you online?
Sir, I did, but I think how that was before me.
Go ahead.
So, Lucky, I don't want, if I may, when you were talking about the NBA and all the other organizations that get rich off of it,
right.
Only thing that came to mind is what General Yahanna say all the time. Thank you, Martin Luther King. Thank you, Jackie Robinson. Thank you, all the people that wanted to do everything with the oppressor and not for ourselves.
Right, exactly. And that's how we got, exactly. That's right on, because that's how we got in these situations. You know what I mean? We wanted to be accepted by the oppressor. We wanted to be joined in with them, and that's why we at where we at. You know what I mean? Jackie Robinson with the Negro, before baseball was a Negro league. You know what I'm saying? But we wanted to be joined in with the MLB and be with the so-called oppressor, and now that's why you have no more Negro league. You know what I'm saying? Martin Luther King, we had Black Wall Street, had all type of stuff going in the Black community. But we got tired of going to a place where it said no Negroes allowed, that we want to be included with that. So we get on Martin Luther King bandwagon, and now you have segregation. But now we're in the worst condition that we have ever been in. It's damn near like slavery without the physicality, you know what I mean? Without the physical brutalness, but it's damn near like, damn, we on the bottom.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Somebody else said, Salaki, I think you was next, Kasiya.
Sir, what you bringing out is so heavy, because what it does is, because we love the oppressor so much, what you're proving is that, number one, that all our sin is a learned behavior, number one. So when people say they're born gay, no, that was learned. You weren't born that way because God didn't. You weren't born an abomination. Now, when you look at how much we love the oppressed, General Hyman brought out something extremely heavy. He said that you love the oppressor so much that you're going to start to see more of us starting to get involved in these mass shootings. And sure enough, that's happening right now, where you start to see us pop up a little bit more in these mass shootings. Because we love the oppressor so much, we copy what they do.
Exactly. And that's exactly right. You know what I'm saying? That's why we're in the condition that we're in, because we love our oppressor. We love the nation so much, we want to do what they do.
Right.
Rather than doing what the Lord called us to do. You know what I'm saying? That's absolutely right. That's a heavy point that you brought out. Go ahead.
And if I may piggyback off of Officer Kazian, you know, and to show that, look, we started going to colleges, getting in these fraternities, just like Esau, doing homosexual activities,
right?
Just like Esau, and just what was them brothers in what was it in Memphis?
I'm talking about Tyrese Nichols.
Mm-hmm. You know, because they want to be like your oppressor.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? You got that from me? Psalms 2 and 8.
Khan. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 2 and verse 8.
Right. This is how it should be. I'm just going to bring a scripture real quick to show you that backing up what I'm saying, what we should rule the world.
Right.
You know what I mean? Look, because we don't teach in here what we think. We do everything biblical. This is how the Lord called it to be. Go ahead.
Khan. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance.
Right. You want to know, look, and if you grow up in this kingdom thinking that you have no inheritance, you know what I'm saying? Your dad didn't leave you nothing. You know what I'm saying? You think that, okay, I was just here to serve. You know, I'm going to die. There's nothing I could do. I'm bound. I'm oppressed. You know what I mean? All that type of thing. But the Lord told you that what? Read that again.
Khan. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance.
Right. The Lord said that he will give us the heathen for our inheritance. I don't think you could get any bigger inheritance than that.
You found a little more.
Look, he said, yeah, exactly. But look, he said he would give the heathen for us as an inheritance,
right.
Man. That's our inheritance. Rather than following the heathen, they supposed to be us to own.
Right.
That shows ownership. You know what I mean? Keep going. He's gonna expound on it more.
Khan. And the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession.
Right. What does it mean when it says the uttermost? The best parts.
Khan.
The best parts of the earth should be for us for a possession, man. We should be ruling the earth, and the heathen should be our servants, not we being servants to other nations, man. You understand? You think that the Lord wants the earth to be to where Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans is servants to other heathens? Hell no. You know what I mean? You want to talk about, you know, I know we grow up in this kingdom mad and angry, wondering why we in this position, especially you in the truth. You know what I'm saying? We in our mind, we like, why are we in this position? Why are we in this condition? Why is, you know, this? We know why. But you know what I mean, in the world, they probably don't know why. Why do people hate Black people? This and the third. There's nobody's more angry at the conditions that's going on than the Most High.
Right.
You understand? He's the most angry at what's going on. But as a righteous father, he's going to have to make sure we get right before he give us the kingdom. You understand? And it's our duty to get this whole nation right. You understand? Somebody said, what you said? Go ahead.
Salaki, sir, if I may. What you're saying is so heavy because it's actually kind of making me think in terms of, is it like, it's almost like we're supposed to possess dogs as pets and rule over them, but it's like we're copying the dogs. We're doing what the dogs are doing, and we're supposed to own the dogs and rule over the dogs.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. You know, you have a dog. That's a good analogy. You have a dog. The only reason why I say it's a good analogy because who is like dog? Listen, but it's like you have a dog, and just like the brother said, you have a dog, and you're supposed to be the owner of the dog. You're supposed to tell the dog what to do. You tell the dog when to sit, eat, whatever. You tell the dog whatever. But instead of doing that, you want to be like the dog.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now the dog is over you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now the dog is teaching you how to be like him, but you following it because you know what I'm saying? It's like that's not how the Lord set things up to be. You know what I'm saying? Somebody said Salaki online.
The water out of one. Every point you just brought out, and it made me think about it gave me an answer to the question you were basically asking. The people in the world don't understand what we understand because they didn't take the time out to read the book that they told Negroes like us to go and read when they saw us doing the wrong thing in the world. They say, go pick up the Bible. It'll tell you how to live. It'll tell you what to do. And the moment we pick up the Bible and start seeing and living that way, Christians in the world, they look at us like we're crazy, but they are the ones that told us to pick the book up to go read it. And if they were to take their own advice and read the book, they'll see that the crazy one is not us or them, it's our oppressor that we are up under.
Right, that's exactly right. You understand? That's exactly right. Because even as a Christian, you know what I mean? We I know, of course, we talk about it. We tell our people that they're Christian because they need to know this so they can realize and change. But we don't blame our people for being Christians. That's what we grew up on. That's what oppressor told us, and that's what your stinking Christian pastor taught you. Right. And that's why we blame them, because they're supposed to be leading the people, but they don't. You understand? But as a Christian, just like you said, if they would have realized and understand it, they'll realize that their oppressor has a hand at this. You know what I mean? And your Christian pastor that you go to or that you revere so much is following after the oppressor, man. He's seeking the oppressor love, not Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans love, not even the Lord's love.
Right.
You understand? So you're absolutely right about that. Give me, where we at? Give me, we're going to skip that. Give me 2nd Esdras chapter 57 and start at, 2nd Esdras chapter 6, verse 57. Slack. We're going to get some more into it because this is all throughout the scriptures, man. You understand? This is all throughout the scriptures that we should be ruling, but because we decide to follow other nations, this is why we're in the positions, the predicaments that we're in. Let me know when you got it.
And you said verse 56.
57. Give me 57.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6 and verse 57. And now, O Lord, behold these heathens.
Right, these heathens, go ahead.
Which have ever been reputed as nothing.
Good night, man. That's what you want to follow. You want to follow nothing. Look, the Lord called them nothing. Look, they give us hell of, oh, we're racist. Oh, we're this, we're that. But even in the scriptures, it tells you that these other nations is nothing, man. You know what I mean? The Lord just made them. The Lord literally, you talk about us growing up in America or wherever you at in this kingdom, and we're thinking that we're nothing.
Right.
We're thinking that we're meant to be servants. That's in your mind. I don't give a damn how strong you are and how much of a go-getter and you know what's instilled in you. It's still in your mind to never challenge the master. You know what I mean? It's you're always going to be a servant, no matter how successful you is. Because guess what? You'll talk to a Black person in disrespect before you talk to an oppressor like that.
Right.
You know what I mean? You might say it in your mind, but when you're dealing with a so-called oppressor, you get into that office, you get into them businesses, you tidying up and you acting like a so-called oppressor, man. That's how you acting. You know, you're not being yourself, you know, and that's what you're doing because you know you're oppressed. You know you can't be yourself and succeed.
Right.
You understand? That's us instilled in our mind as us being nothing, man. That I can't be a regular Black person. I gotta change my ways if I want to succeed, if I want to do anything. You know what I mean? You had something?
Oh God, you know, Terry, that you should say that because you look at it, okay, you got all these brothers and sisters, they want to be like the oppressor, they following them, they want to get in these executive positions. But these owners, they be having owners meetings, and it would be nothing but white people.
Right.
Sucking the oppressor.
Right, exactly.
They were never invited.
And listen, you can even ask, if you think I'm wrong, even ask John Morant. I know that's going on now. Now, technically, he did nothing illegal. That's why he's not getting arrested. The police don't even give a damn because he did nothing illegal. You know what I mean? But because it got too much of a niggerish, way on it, they're gonna drag this brother to hell, and they're gonna, he's probably gonna lose some dealership, some endorsements,
right?
And possibly his contract. Who knows? But technically, he didn't do anything illegal.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But because of the image of just being Black, and I'm not trying to put that image on Black people. I'm not trying to put that image on Black people of, we, what I mean? Because we don't do that in the UPK.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we're just disciplined. But technically, he did nothing illegal. But they're going to drag this brother and do anything that they can to make this brother lose money because you cannot be like that. You cannot have any type of how you are with no. Do away with that. You better act white.
Right.
You know what I mean? Somebody said Salaki online.
What's going on? If I may, I got a precept, if I could.
Go ahead.
When you were talking about job or rent, you know what I'm saying, and everybody else that try to, you know what I'm saying, act a certain way to fit into society. I got Jeremiah chapter 2 and verse 33. Why trimmest thou thy way to seek love?
Right.
Therefore, hast thou also taught the wicked ones thy ways.
Right. That's a perfect precept, man. Because that's what you have to do. You have to trim your ways. However you are, stop doing it.
Right.
You know, you don't be yourself. You better act white. Look, you better act white. You know what I'm saying? Hell, in order for us to get a proper Tanakh, you know what I mean? The proper Tanakh that's actually accurate, we got to call the so-called oppressor like, how you doing, sir? You know what I mean? And that's the only way they'll be able to send us one, or else you won't be able to get it.
Right.
You'll find one of the JPMs that's not accurate.
Right.
That's not right. And listen, Kasia, I know about that. Somebody else said Salakia?
Come on, concern. You know, what you continue to bring out is heavy, and when you continue to bring out what we're trying to do, like the oppressor, all the time. The reason why we're doing it, not only because we love them so much, but also we don't have the proper anger. Because something you said about the Most High is the one who's the most angry, obviously. But we don't even have a righteous anger in the world because we don't know how to. And it's not in the truth we do, but we still aren't there. Because of the fact of if they had the anger in the world, they would understand that they were being oppressed. Because the scripture says a wise man is, you know, paraphrasing, when he's angry with oppression.
Right. Right. Yeah. Wise man.
There's no anger.
Right. Exactly. You understand? And the scriptures also say what? It also say, be angry, but sin not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because when you look at the conditions of Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, when you look at what's going on, it's going to make you furious.
Right.
You understand? Right. And the Lord knows that, and the Lord wants that, because that furiousness should drive you to be righteous. It should drive you to strive to serve the Lord, to change this damn place, man.
That's right.
You understand? And that's why I say sin not. Don't sin because you see it. You know, you see the so-called oppressor and high rise. Don't rob them.
Right.
You know, don't go and just take what they have and rob them, because you're going to put yourself in a predicament. Don't do that. But you know how to combat that? Follow your God, man. Do the law, statutes, and commandments. You understand? And that'll be you.
Right.
You understand? Somebody else said Salakia? All right, no sweat. We're going to keep going. Go ahead. I'll read verse 57 again, Salakia.
This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 57. And now, O Lord, behold, these heathens, which have ever been reputed as nothing, have begun to be lords over us and to devour us.
Right. Not only are they over us, but they are devouring us, man. They profit off of us. Man, what they say the black dollar is what the most expensive. Like, Black people is really the ones that's buying everything. We're the ones that's spending the most money. You know what I mean? They give you the stimulus, the PPP loans. We didn't do nothing but turn around and go buy cars. You know what I'm saying? Go buy whatever the hell we wanted to buy. We didn't invest it in our community and try to build anything. We wanted to go just put it right back in their pockets, man. You understand? That's why they're not probably coming after you with your PPP loan. They realize, look, you know what? Yeah, you scammed for $1 million, but you gave that million right back to us.
Right.
You didn't. Imagine if somebody would actually build a community with that. Where they would actually build their own school or some type of thing that benefit the Black community. They probably would have closed that down just like that. Like, oh, nah. You know what I'm saying? They devouring us, man. You understand? They're eating off of everything that we do. Hell, most of the stuff that the so-called oppressor gets credit for, there was probably a Black person that invented it.
Right.
Right.
You understand? Well, your toilet.
Right.
With peanut butter, I think. Whatever you like. It's a strong chance that some type of Black man or woman, Hispanic or Native American man or woman invented that. You understand? But you don't know they exist.
Right.
Right.
because the oppressor is benefiting off of it, man. That's what it means to devour us, not just killing us, but they're eating off of everything that we do. You understand? You have was a black man in a Buffalo mass shooting, I think, invented what water cars or something like that. They're going to benefit off of that.
Right.
You understand? Keep going.
Khan, verse 58. But we, thy people, whom thou hast called thy firstborn, thy only begotten.
Right, and that's crazy that we're called the firstborn. Why? Why is that crazy? Because we actually were the lastborn.
Right.
You talk about all the nations that was on the kingdom. The last two born was Esau and Jacob, and we all know Esau came first.
Right.
But yet, even though we were the last, we were called the firstborn. You understand? Keep going.
Khan. Salaki, sir. And thy fervent lover, and given into their hands.
Right. We have been given into their hands, man. And it's by our own doings because we wanted to follow them. You cannot follow someone and leave. If you're going to follow someone, then you're going to be following them and you're going to do what they do.
Right.
They're going to be over you. You understand? You can't, you got to think about it like this. If you wanted to be an Arab, you wanted to serve Allah because you thought that Allah was the way. Who the hell is you? You're going to be under the Arab people.
Right.
Because that's their religion.
Right.
That's their nation. That's their God.
Right.
You can't think that you're going to follow Allah and then be some great person. You know what I mean? No, Muhammad was an Arab.
Right.
You know what I mean? They that's why it makes sense. You can't follow another nation and then expect to be over those people. You're gonna always be second fiddle.
Right.
You understand? Go ahead.
Okay, so and it's heavy that you should say that is because everybody got us thinking that we're African Americans, and so it's like we're supposed to be Muslim because that's supposed to be our original religion when we came over here. But like you said, it's an Arab religion, and the Arabs forced it on the Africans.
Right. Right. Through the Crusades, you got them going into Africa. That's why you got a lot of Africans that are Muslim.
Right.
You understand? They spread it by the sword. But just like he said, you can't think that you're going to serve another God, be under another nation, and then be over them. And it instills in us the mindset of always following, you know what I mean, and never leading. That's why it's hard for us to even fathom to rule the world. Like that's just, it's like out of the natural Black, Hispanic, and Native American mind to actually rule the world. It's like we're always just built to be a servant. And that's what you do when you're following other nations. You understand? Go ahead. Read verse 59.
Salaki, sir. If the world now be made for our sakes, why do we possess an inheritance with the world?
Why do we not? Salaki.
Salaki, why do we not possess an inheritance with the world?
Right. You understand? If the world was made for our sakes, meaning we know that the world was made for our sakes, man. You understand? But why do we not possess an inheritance of this world? Keep going.
How long shall this endure?
Right. How long shall this endure, man? You know what I mean? We're going to keep going. Go to chapter 7 and read verse 1. Understand? Just like the scriptures say, the world was made for Black, Hispanic, and Native American sakes. When the Most High created earth, and that's another thing to us believing that when you die, you're going to be an angel and be somewhere in heaven. That I don't know what I mean. Hell, that doesn't even make sense. I always talk to people about this all the time. Like, okay, well, if we're going to die and be angels, then why do angels exist? Like, why did the Lord make angels that's perfect and have always been there for them if people were just going to die and become angels? You know what I mean? So then I asked them, okay, well, then is Gabriel and Michael, were they people first? Well, no, they were. So then what the hell that doesn't make sense? The Lord made people to be on earth, not for you to die and become an angel. He made you to be on earth, and he created earth for our sakes, man. You understand? Keep going. Read verse chapter 7, verse 1.
Khan. This is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 7 and verse 1. And when I had made an end of speaking these words, there was sent unto me and the angel which had been sent.
So like you can skip down to verse 3, and he's gonna tell you that he's going, and this the angel, because this is Ezra talking to an angel. You know what I mean? He's being revealed stuff, and he's asking questions on why is things going the way it is. And the angel was giving him a response, right? So in verse 3, it's going to start his response to why he said, "How long we shall endure this." Go ahead.
Khan. Verse 3. And I said, "Speak on, my God." Then said he unto me, "The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great." Verse 4. Oh,
right. So it said the sea is set in a wide place that it might be deep and great. We know the sea is endless. You know, we can't even measure how deep it goes. You know, I don't know if it's true, but I was watching something where they said that they went to the bottom of the sea, not the bottom, but they was going down the bottom of the sea, and they found a lake in the bottom of a sea. Like, imagine that. Like, even like I said, I can't verify that because I didn't do it, but imagine a lake in the bottom of the sea. It's like you think you're at the bottom of the sea, but then you just see a lake. Who knows how far the sea goes, how far the measurements are. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Khan, verse 4. But put the case, the entrance were narrow and like a river.
Right. So you have a sea that's wide and deep, but in order to get to the sea, it's a river.
Right.
That's narrow. That's small. Now remember this analogy that they're using. Go ahead.
Khan, verse 5. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it?
Right. You know what I mean? Meaning the sea is wide and narrow, and it's supposed to be ruled because you're supposed to be ruling a great area.
Right.
Right. But who could rule it? Who could go into the sea and rule it? Keep going.
Khan. If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad?
Right. Meaning you got a sea that's wide and great, that's meaning to be ruled, you know, ruling the whole sea. Imagine that. But how could you rule the whole sea if you couldn't go through that first go through that river that's narrow?
Right. You
understand? And we already know what this is getting into. What this is it's a metaphor for. Keep going.
Khan. Verse 6. There is also another thing. A city is built and set up a broad field and is full of all good things.
Right. So you have a city that was built and set up a broad field, you know, a wide area, and it has everything good in it. You know what I'm saying? Anything that you want, it has in it. Money, rulership, righteousness, everything.
Khan.
You understand? Go ahead.
Khan, verse 7. The entrance thereof is narrow.
Right, but the entrance to that city is narrow. Go ahead.
And is set in a dangerous place to fall.
Right, and it's set in a dangerous place to fall. It's going to get more into it. Go ahead.
Khan. Like as if there were a fire on the right hand.
Right, on the fire on the right hand. Go ahead.
And on the left, a deep water.
And on the left, a deep water. You know what I mean? So, I mean, you walk in a narrow path to get into the city. And if you fall off on the right-hand side, you're going to get burned.
Right.
But if you fall off on the left side, you're going to drown.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's showing you how steady you have to walk this narrow field. That you cannot waver either way, or you're going to perish. Go ahead.
And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once.
Right. That's how small the path is. It's not even two people. Mm-hmm. Only one person can walk this straight path. That means that, look, if you stumble, if you trip, if you fall, look, you might be gone.
Right.
You know what I mean? That might be it. That's how narrow this path is to get to this city that has all the good things that you want to get to. But you got to go through that narrow path. Go ahead.
Verse 9. if this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance.
Right. So now he's going into where he's actually, he gave the analogies and the metaphors to him first. And now he's saying, well, if this city was given as an inheritance to a man, he's talking to Esdras. Go ahead.
If he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance?
Right. If he was never having to pass this path, if he was never having to pass this path, how shall he receive the inheritance? Now the scriptures are showing us how do we get that inheritance, man. You understand? And you have to walk a narrow path. On one side is danger, and on the other side is danger, and only one person can go at a time. That shows you how few people is going to be able to actually even walk this path to begin with.
Right.
You understand? Like out of all the whole earth and all the whole world, even if you talk about just the Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, it shows you how narrow the path is. That only so many but few people is going to even be able to do this. You understand? Go ahead.
Verse 10.
Oh, Salakia. And you have to do this to receive the inheritance. You understand? That's why we're going through what we're going through. That's why we're here to do what we were called to do. That's why we're serving the Lord. And we in the I.S.U.P.K. that's considered a hate group. But what the hell do we do that's violent? Nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean, we protect ourselves. Everything that we do is an act of self-defense. You understand? Or as a preventative measure to make sure violence don't happen at all.
Right.
You understand? But here we are, you know what I mean, few, but this is why we're doing what we're doing, because we know that we want to make it to this great city. You understand? We want to be in rulership. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And I said, it is so, Lord. Then said he unto me, even so also is Israel's portion.
Right. She gave him this metaphor to show you that this is how long we're going to have to endure. So we have enough men to be able to walk this narrow path and go into the city to overtake it, to overdo it. You understand? That narrow city, that great city, that wide sea is the earth, man.
Right.
You understand? The Lord made sure that he put us through trials and tribulations to make sure we are worthy to even receive this.
Right.
You understand? Because what sense would it make for you to give it to someone who don't deserve it? You know what I mean? That's where you get children growing up and being spoiled. You know what I mean? They was given everything, and so then now they don't get nothing, and they act like a brat. You know what I'm saying? Or they just, lose their mind, or they don't know how to be righteous, or they don't care about being a good person because it's just like, I've been given everything.
Right.
You have to learn through trials and tribulations and being tested to become a righteous or a great person. You understand? Go ahead.
Like you had a woman that's for every what you're saying, and you hear oppressors that use that same type of comparison, but it's in that way though, and the way they use it, they say if we would give that reparations, they would just blow the money, and they have, I done seen oppressors on the news, live on TV, in the media, make these type of comments, and it may be some truth. It may be some truth in it, but it just when you were saying when you was breaking this down, I was like, damn, it's kind of saying the same thing, the Most High is not going to give us anything that we're not ready for. We got to walk this narrow path, and this, it's Israel's portion. It's our, it's gonna qualify us. It's gonna make, to be able to. He's gonna make us qualified to handle, what the Most High has in store for us. So I just wanted to idea.
Right, no, right. You're exactly right. You know what I mean? You talk about reparations. First of all, the hell with reparations, man.
Right.
First of all, knowing what happened to our people and what we went through, there's no amount of money that can pay for that.
That's right.
There's no amount of money that can pay for that. The only thing that can pay for that is your death.
Right.
I'm just be honest. You know what I mean? With eye for eye, tooth for tooth. That don't apply here. We're gonna need that eye. We're gonna need that tooth. You understand? And what even look, if you think I'm crazy for saying that, the scriptures say reward them double.
Right.
It say, look, you took one tooth, I'm gonna need two. You took one eye, I'm gonna need both of them.
That's right.
That's what the scriptures say. So first of all, with reparation, there's no amount of money that can pay for that. But you're absolutely right when you say that, because you give us reparations and it's just like, well, we're just going to spend the money back to the so-called oppressor. We're not going to use this money to come together as collectively and separate, build our own community, start doing things our own. No, we're going to put it back into them. Right. You understand? So you're absolutely right about that. And that's why in order to get the kingdom, to get the rulership or everything, you do have to go this narrow path. The Lord means to make sure that you actually serve him, because this is once the kingdom comes, that's the end all be all. You know what I'm saying? That's rulership forever. You understand? That's a kingdom that's established forever. No kingdom up until this point, and even now, has lasted forever. You know what I mean? Every kingdom has to fall eventually. But when Christ comes, that kingdom will never fall. You're going to be reincarnated and reincarnated and reincarnated and reincarnated back into rulership. Lord willing, if you get that crown. You understand? It's going to be passed to your son, sons, you. Son, sons, you.
Right.
You understand? So yes, the Lord want to make sure that you can handle that. If you ruling the world, you need to make sure that you are righteous. That there's no wavering, there's no ifs and buts about it. You understand? You got to think about it too. You went through the most wickedest times, which is now. It came out to be proven righteous. You damn sure gonna be righteous when you in power.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be ruling. And you know how you got it. You understand? And it's gonna be taught to us down and down to where that's how things is. So you're absolutely right about that. Go ahead.
Sorry, sir. What could Matthew 7:13, enter ye in the straight gate, be a precept to that?
Right, that's a perfect precept to that.
Right.
Enter the straight gate, man. You understand? It's a straight path. There's no crick, there's no zigzags, no turns, no rights, no lefts. It's straight. You understand? That's a perfect precept for it. It's like, where we at? Keep going. There was at verse 10. Read verse 11. Wait, let me see.
We have verse 11.
No, I'm gonna see if I need it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we can go ahead.
Verse 11. Because for their sake I made the world.
Right, exactly. There you go again. There is talking about Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, the Israelites, man.
Right.
Go ahead.
And when Adam transgressed my statutes, then was decreed that now is done.
Right. Decree means was ordered, meaning that we had to go once Adam transgressed the law. That's when the Lord gave the order that this is what has to happen. This is what has to be done before us to be able to get the kingdom. You understand? Because you got to think about it. Adam came up, was over everything, had everything, but he didn't go through any tests.
Right.
He didn't go through any problem. He didn't go through any travail. He didn't go through any, hardship.
Right.
It was just given to him. The Lord chose them. Right. So now he's going through it, and it caused him to fall. You understand? Because you're proven through tests, man.
Right.
That's how you look. Even on a simpler level, you know who your real friends is, and until you go through problems. You know what I mean? That when everything is good, you got money, or everything is cool. Even if you were in high school or middle school, everything is good when nothing's going on. But you'll figure out who's your real friends when you getting jumped.
Right.
We're gonna see if he actually jump in, or he just you know what I'm saying? Then you're gonna see who your real friends is. You'll see who your real friends is when if you ignorantly doing something illegal in the world, you get pulled over by the cops. Then you'll see who your real friends is.
Right.
Hey, bro, you know what I'm saying? But he with you smoking the same weed, it's wicked. But he with you smoking the same weed, but that's his. That's you know what I'm saying? You'll see who your real friends is. You'll see if they really are down for you, or if you in jail, or they coming to visit you,
Right.
or they coming to put money on your books. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or if you in a hard time, let's not even take it to where you're sinning. Let's just say you in a hard time. Are they there to help you out? You know what I mean? Oh man, I'm struggling right now. You know, things is tough for me. I'm trying to, and they know you trying to get back on your feet. Are they there to lend you a hand and help you out? Are they just not answering your calls, blocking you? But as soon as you get money again, hey bro, yeah, you know what I mean? They chilling. You know, you always are tested when you're going through hard times. That's why even when you come into the school and you're in the truth and you find yourself in hard times and struggling, things is going wrong, you're being tested, man. You know what I'm saying? You're being tested. Fight through that test. There's light on the inside, on the other end of that tunnel, man. You understand? But the Lord needs to know that you're in here for the right reason. That you're in here to actually serve your people, because that's what we're doing in here.
Right.
You know what I mean? We out there fishing for our people. You understand? So like, is that keep going on that?
Khan. Verse 12. Then were the entrances of this world made narrow, full of sorrow and travail. They are but few and evil, full of perils and very painful.
Right. That's what's letting you know how these trials, them trials is gonna be, man. It's full of evil. It's full of a lot of evil stuff going on that's coming up against you. You know what I mean? Full of pain. It's gonna be painful. You understand? If you have a mindset of you gonna come into this school, and this is for young man, troopers, officer 50s, 500s, thousands, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You think that you're gonna come to the school and everything is gonna be easy? This might not be the right place for you. You understand? I'm just being honest with you. This might not be the right place for you, because there's gonna be a lot of stuff that'll come up against you, especially as you raise up. You know what I mean? You want to come, you come in to be a young trooper. I'm not gonna say it's not gonna be so hard, but that tends to typically be like the testing grounds. Like, once you become an officer, man, good night. You're gonna see a whole bunch of stuff just trying to attack you. Get up out of it. Because now they know you're serious. You know what I mean? When you get when you get your name first, lock it. When you get your name first, that's now when they know the demons, they know that now you're serious. Okay, this brother done stood into it to get his name. Let me start attacking him. Let me start getting at him. You know what I'm saying? Let me start making the struggle. Let's start making them have excuses. You know what I mean? They any type of way, man. They'll start coming at you. And you get a 550, 500 on down. They're gonna keep coming at you, man. It's gonna be full of pain, man. You're gonna go through your ups and your downs. But that's why we had a brotherhood.
Right.
That's why you had the brothers to lean on, the brothers to talk to, the brothers to call. If you need counsel, get counsel. You understand? And you're gonna make it out, man. You're gonna be okay.
That's right.
You understand? And trust me, the reward that you're gonna get for this, good night. You know what I'm saying? But the scripture said we can't even imagine what's gonna be in the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? I know brothers joke about it all the time. You talk about driving in the car, shit. We might be driving in spaceships. You know what I'm saying? We might be able to teleport. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it's not gonna be easy, man. It's gonna be full of pain, full of travails. You understand? That's how it is to walk this narrow path. That's why only a few people can walk the narrow path to begin with.
Right.
People can't go through this. They can't go through what you go through on a daily. You understand? Is that it on that? Let me see. Give me verse 13.
Khan. Verse 13. For the entrances of the elders' world were wide and sure, and brought immortal fruit.
Right, exactly. For the entrances of the elder world were wide and sure, and brought immortal fruit. Keep going.
If then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things, they can never receive those that are laid up for them.
Right. If you cannot enter and live, you can't live, labor. It's like if they that live, labor, and not enter these straight and vain things, meaning, and it's going into the trials and the trials and tribulations that you're going through. It's really nothing. You know what I mean? Yes, in this time period, it's everything. But if you think about what you'll be gaining from it, it's nothing. It's really nothing. You know what I'm saying? Okay, look, I might be in a financial disarray for a moment. Or, my woman might leave me. Or
Right.
my kids might be like, hey, you're weird, you're in a cult, and my kids don't like me anymore. Or what other problems that do we normally go through? My family don't like me because I don't come for Thanksgiving no more.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's really nothing. I mean, let's just be honest. It's really not. It's hard because in the world that we grow into and what we're accustomed to, but it's really nothing. It's really vain. It's not benefiting you any. It's causing you to be demised, to be destroyed. That's what it's doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Oh, I don't get to shoot fireworks on the 4th of July. Okay. Well, who gives a damn?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what it's saying. Read that again.
Khan, verse 14. If then they that live labor not to enter these straight and vain things.
Right. If they that live labor not, meaning that you don't want to just enter into these straight and vain things. It's like I said, it's vain. It's not that significant when you really quantify things. Like even when the scriptures say, the Lord said, to keep his commandments, and they're not, they're not grievous.
Khan.
You know what I'm saying? It's not hard.
Right.
You understand? It's just what we're accustomed to is what makes it seem like it's hard.
Right.
You know, what we grew up on. You got to think if somebody just grew up and just knew this and only the truth and was able to know the repercussions to if you don't do this, that shit easy, man.
Right.
You know, okay. I never celebrated any of these. I always knew this. This is what I always know, right? You tell me if I do something else, then I'm going to be like, no offense, but this brother on the street that's wrung down, that's, look like he's been through a lot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And needs help. Now, I don't want to put myself in that position or that predicament to where, I'm not good. You understand?
Khan.
It's not hard, man. You understand? Is that it on that?
Khan.
Yeah, that's it on that. Give me
Like the other one.
Oh, go ahead.
So I got a question, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
So you know how, like, a lot of our children in this day and age are being born in the truth, to where the truth is all they ever know. You know, they're having a life where, as soon as they, born, as soon as they're born in the household with the mother and father that's teaching them the truth, teaching them not to eat pork, teaching them to keep the law. So when you see that those type of children that's growing up in the truth, they never fall in the category where they have to be considered born again.
Yeah, I mean, to be born again means what? To get rid of your old man. But if you're born in the truth and you've never, basically never sinned, or you've grown up in a culture, why would you need to be born again?
Right.
You were already born righteous.
Right.
You understand? Right. Now, that's not to say that they won't be tested or tried, or maybe they're born in it, but then they dabble off and they decide to dabble in the world and come back. Then you'll have to be born again. But
right.
If they come up in the truth and they're in the truth from birth and they would it. You know what I'm saying? No, technically they wouldn't have to be born again. They'll find themselves in a situation where they have never sinned.
Right.
And isn't that amazing?
God.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, go ahead.
Salaki, sir. Would that be the living proof, I guess, of the new covenant, being that they have the law written on their hearts?
Well, no, that wouldn't necessarily be that, because we're a living proof of the new covenant. It wouldn't just be, them who never sinned. That would be you. You'll be proof of the new covenant. You know what I
Khan.
mean? It just means coming into the truth. Matter of fact, if you want, you can get it. Real quick. It's Jeremiah 31 and 33, I think.
Oh, Khan. Okay. I had the Hebrews 8 and 8.
Oh, you got it. Oh, well, go ahead.
Khan. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 8 and verse 8. For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and the house of Judah, not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt.
Right. Why does he need to make a new covenant? Because we broke the old one.
Khan.
Go ahead.
Khan. Because they continue not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith the Lord. For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my law into their mind and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them a God, and they shall be to me a people.
Right. The Lord did that because he had done away with the old covenant. He had done away with it. So he had to make a new one. What does it mean to write it in his heart? What does that mean? Anybody know? You know what that means?
I think so.
Go ahead.
He will make it so that this is what you think when you move. Like it's like second nature to you. The law, not
is right. Exactly. Is it not second nature to you?
Khan.
Right. So then you will be a product of the new covenant.
Khan.
Right. You understand? But yeah, that's a great scripture though. Salakia, we're gonna get. Let me get Leviticus chapter 18, verse 3. I said we was gonna go back to showing you how when you follow other nations, that's like when you don't Salakia, when you sin, it's you following other nations. We're gonna go back into that. I meant to get it earlier, but I was just going down in the scriptures. But we're going to show you biblically when you're sinning, you're following other nations, man. And that's how we end up in these predicaments or in the circumstances that we're in right now, where we're at the bottom. It's because we decided to follow other nations. You understand? So go ahead, give me a Leviticus 18, chapter 3.
Khan.
18.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 18 and verse 3. After the doings of the land of Egypt, wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do.
Right. So when the Lord was separating us from Egypt in the land of Canaan to be our own people, right? He said, look, in the doings that they was doing in there, that's what you should not do. And this goes into because we know Leviticus is with the book of law. It shows you a whole bunch of laws. So it's giving you laws right now, things that you should not do. And these was done by what? The Egyptians. This was their culture. Go ahead.
Neither shall ye walk in their ordinances.
Right, their ordinances. What? Anybody know what ordinances means? Look it up. Give me the definition.
Ordinance, a piece of legislation enacted by a municipal authority.
Right, meaning this is like a law.
God.
This is what in their orders. This was their law. This is what they do. You understand? A piece of legislation. You understand? Go ahead. Verse 5.
This is the book of Leviticus, chapter 18 and verse 5. Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am the Lord.
Right, meaning once again, there you go. If you do these laws and commandments, this is what makes you live, man. Go ahead.
Verse 6. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord.
Right, meaning that you can't sleep with your family members, man. You understand? Anybody that's kin to you, that's close to you, you shouldn't be uncovering their nakedness.
Right.
You understand? You shouldn't be sleeping with family members. You understand? If I'm not mistaken, doesn't even matter. But yeah, anybody that's close, that means brother, sister, brother, daughter, son. This is what they were doing in Egypt, man. Disgusting.
Right.
This is the type of things that they were doing in Egypt. And this is what the so-called oppressor perpetuates, because this is what he does now. Now he made a law of it because that's what they were doing.
Right.
You understand? That's why you got Alabama and all the southern countries where,
Right.
Mississippi, where they do those things.
West Virginia, they're known for that.
Look, West Virginia, look, oppressors. You know what I'm saying? This is what they do. That's their culture. That's what they do. You know what I'm saying? And so when you do things like that, you're following another culture.
Right.
Somebody said Salaki, or somebody said something online? Go ahead.
You're absolutely right. That's what the Egyptians do. I was watching this documentary that just came out called Cleopatra, and in the documentary she were to her brother.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Look, I don't follow Cleopatra, but you know what I'm saying? As the brother said, look, married to their brother. That's what they do, man. You understand? That's what they do.
Like if I could.
Go ahead. Who was that?
It's off to myself, sir.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
So like what could like it's crazy that you say that, you bring out some scriptures, because the heathen do not understand the Bible at all, because it's a saying. I've heard it at my slavery when they said, why go across the street when I can just go right down the hall? So pretty much what they're saying is, why I need to go outside the house when I got a family member right down the hall that I can go deal with. So Lucky, that's crazy. Lucky.
Good night. You know what I'm saying? But that's because it's in their culture, man. You understand? It's just that now when we in modern times, it looks a little crazy. So they try to make a law. But if you go back to where there was a lawless society, which they're trying to get to, you understand? That's their culture. That's what they do. You know, whoever, whatever, Sodom and Gomorrah, that's, you know what I mean? So when you do it as a Black, Hispanic, Native American, knowing that the Lord gave you the law, such as the commandments, you're following another person's culture. It's not just I'm sinning. It's like you double sinning.
Right.
Not only are you sinning by doing this act, but now you're worshiping another God.
Right.
You understand? Now you're following another nation.
Right.
And if you want to be like that nation, guess what? You're going to be under that nation.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Khan, verse 8.
I'm sorry, you're on verse 7.
Oh, Salakia, verse 7. The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother shalt thou not uncover. She is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness.
Right, exactly. You understand? It's like I said, it's sleeping with your mom. Come on, man. Let's not talk about it. It's disgusting. Go ahead.
God. Verse 8. The nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness.
Right. You understand? That belongs to your dad's wife. Like, meaning that if it's not your mom, if he got another wife, that's disgusting, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, Reuben did it, and Reuben was punished for it, and he was considered the firstborn. Now he's not. You understand? He was punished for it. It's disgusting, man. Come on, go ahead.
And Salaki, sir, this also illustrates multiple ribs in the scripture.
Right. It also, as a matter of fact, it definitely does, because it says your father's wife. It's not talking about your. Just before it said your mom. Now it's saying your father's wife. That means that your father has multiple women. Right. Or it could be, your mom, died, and then you got another wife. But it's either or. Right. You know what I'm saying? And we know this because what Reuben did to his father. You understand what Reuben did to Jacob? Right. Jacob had what? I think four wives. Yeah, Leah, Rebecca, and then their maid's women. Bila and Zell. You know what I mean? And he had slept with, I forget which one. Bila. But Bila. He slept with the other one. And this showed you that your father can have multiple women.
Kind
But hey, all those women is your father's woman.
Right.
You get your own.
God.
Go ahead.
God. Verse 9. The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or daughter of thy mother.
Look, that also goes into multiple women because multiple wives, because it could be either the daughter of your father or the daughter of your mother.
God.
You understand? Meaning, if this is the daughter of your mother, then it's a daughter of your mom and your dad. But if it's a daughter of your father, it could be a daughter of another woman.
Right.
But either way, that's your sister.
Right.
Because you either have the same dad or you have the same dad and mom.
Right.
Or if your mom had, died and she had the young one and dad to take them on, then, either way, it's still,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Salaki, sir.
Go ahead.
So you're saying like in the terms of she was widowed. So her husband died and then somebody took her on, like
Right.
the family, what is it called? Family Redeemer
Right.
took her on and then had a child with her. Then you still can't lay
that
with
still
that.
would be your sister.
Right, that's your sister, even though it didn't come from your father. Kind. Salaki, sir, verse 10. Salaki, continue in verse 9. Whether she be born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover.
Now, why does it say whether she be born at home or born abroad? Go ahead.
Salaki, sir, it's if I'm looking at it as though your father had a rib somewhere else. So if I live in Atlanta, if I had a rib in, let's say, California, and I had a daughter with that rib, my son in Atlanta can't stay with that daughter from the rib in California because she's born way over there. Don't mean she's still not your sister. It's like y'all didn't grow up together, but that's still your sister.
Right, exactly. Meaning if it's at home, meaning born in your house, or born abroad somewhere else in another land, another country, another place, it doesn't matter.
Right.
You understand? Y'all are still family members.
Right.
Go ahead.
Verse 10. The nakedness.
Look, and if you do it, that's how you're going to end up turning out looking like the Asians, man. You know what I'm saying?
God.
You're going to be looking some type of deformed, some type of the same, something is not going to be, because, that's how Moab and Ammon was born. You know what I mean? That the daughters of Moab and Ammon, the daughters slept with their father. And then that gave birth to Moab and Ammon, which is the so-called Chinese and Japanese. You understand? Go ahead. Somebody says something. Go ahead.
Yeah, so with that precept right there, right, where you be born at home, born abroad, paraphrasing, you know what I'm saying? Could that be is it also like a cut to show like, like how you might hear like Christians be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? Like you got a man have more than one wife, right? You know what I'm saying? And both your ribs have a baby. She has a child for you, the other rib have a child for you. Could you use that precept to show like the cut that sort of like?
Wait, say that one more time.
Okay, you know how you have more than one rib, right?
Yeah.
And they be like, and Christians say like, how you gonna be at two houses at once? You know what I'm saying? Because you might have a child in this house and have a child in another house.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Could we use that precept to cut that?
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily use that precept to cut that. There's other precepts that you could use. I wouldn't necessarily use this one. This one is not even necessarily talking about, like, okay, yeah, it is getting to that, but it is not. It's specifically towards that. You know what I mean? There could be multiple reasons. There could be multiple reasons of why you have one child born abroad and one child born at home. Hell, you could be with the same woman and have a child home, but then, brothers that was deployed in the military at one point could have had a child in a whole nother country. You know what I'm saying? So no, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't necessarily use that one as a a means to cut that. There's other scriptures for that. You understand? Yeah, I'm not really gonna go down more into this. We pretty much know what it's talking about, but it shows you that when you're doing a sin, you're following another nation. You understand? Right. You're serving another God. You understand? Like I said, when you smoke weed, that was started in Asia, somewhere in Asia. I don't know if it was East Indian or not, but I know it was somewhere in Asia, maybe China, somewhere where they started smoking weed as a ritual to serve their god. You understand? Homosexuality, Egyptian. You know what I'm saying? Orgies and being whores. That's synonymous with Grecan era, Greco-Roman era. You understand where they was doing that in them? That's how they celebrated their gods. I forget what I think it was like Saturnalia, some I forget. It's some type of whatever the hell you know what I'm saying, where they had. That's what they did, man. You understand? They just slept with each other's wives and slept with each other's husbands and just didn't give a damn. You know what I mean?
Was it Hellenism?
Hellenistic or Hellenism is like it is their culture, but that's like a Israelite that what adapted or grew to learn their type of thing. But I'm not sure if that was actually the word for what they did. You understand? But any type of sin that you can think of, you understand, is celebrating or is worshiping another god and worshiping or doing or following another people's nation culture. Go ahead.
I just wanted to piggyback on what Officer Malasar was saying. Hellenism was kind of like the term whitewash in terms of when you're being Hellenized, you're joining Greek culture.
Right.
When you're being whitewashed, you're joining, the oppressor's culture and things like that. So it's like it's a process. It's not really an individual thing. It's like it encompasses all of what the Greeks were doing.
Right. What would be the modern word for Hellenist right now?
African American. So like,
yeah, man, you're an American.
You're
African American. You're an American. That would be considered a Hellenist. You subjugate yourself to American culture, meaning that whatever American thinks is right, you think is right. You do it. You know what I mean? America says that homosexuality is legal. So hey, you know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Would it be like a Republican? Like if you consider yourself a Republican, then you've been Hellenized. If you consider yourself a Democrat or something like that in this culture, then you've been Hellenized or whitewashed in essence.
Right, exactly. You understand? But yeah, like I said, any little sin that you do or whatever you do, that's following another nation, man. You following another nation culture because we know that it wasn't given to us.
Right.
We know the law, statutes, and commandments was given to Black, Hispanic, and Native American. You understand? Real quick, we're gonna pull our this last verse. Give me 2nd Esdras 6 and 7. You understand? And Salaki, one. Oh, go ahead. Matter of fact, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
Real quick, Adawan. A lot of our people they go to the hookah lounges now. So that's worshiping other gods too. When they smoke that hookah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Smoking hookah is what? Yeah, I think that's in the East Indian culture with smoking hookah because that's where like you go to if you go to a real hookah lounge, they got you damn near sitting Indian style on them little pillows and stuff. And they make it the whole setting known like it's the East Indian, Buddha, whatever the hell they celebrate, Buddha Bindi dot type culture. You know what I'm saying? That's that. You know what I'm saying? So you're absolutely right. We're gonna get this last verse, verse 6 and 7, because really, man, when you think about this world is a struggle between Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans and our oppressor.
Right.
You know what I mean? At any moment, one of us is going to be ruling, and both of us cannot exist at the same time. You know what I mean? That's why we know at the end what's going to happen to our oppressor.
Right.
If you don't know, you might want to look up Isaiah chapter 14. It's going to tell you what's going to happen to the oppressor. You understand? You talk about a museum. It's going to be one time when your kids are going to go to the museum and be like, this is who was over you?
Right.
You know what I mean? We always had a joke in the school because that's what's essentially is going to happen to them.
Right.
It'll be prehistoric. You know what I mean? But we're going to pull this last verse. Go ahead. This is going to sum up the class.
This is the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 6 and verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth?
Right. This is a question asking about when we're going to get rulership. You know what I'm saying? When is it going to be the ending of the times that we're in now and the beginning of the kingdom that we're supposed to be getting if we follow the Most High in Christ? Go ahead.
Khan, verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob handled first.
Salakia, I see handheld.
Oh, Salakia, handheld. Khan, Salakia. Let me take it from the top. This is verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob handheld first the heel of Esau.
Right. We were twins, right? Jacob and Esau. Jacob came out first, and as Jacob came out, as Esau came out, Jacob was holding on to Esau's heel. Coming out the womb. Go ahead.
Verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world.
Good night. Esau is the end of the world, man. You understand? That goes to show you the rulership that Esau has. It will end the world. It has to end sometime because else there will be no world.
Right.
Go ahead.
And Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth.
Right. You understand? Meaning that after Esau rules ends, it's going to be Jacob rule. And it's going to be forever. You understand? And it's not going to be by Jacob following Esau.
That's right.
Jacob has to follow his God. You understand? He has to follow Christ, who is our king.
Right.
And Jacob is the Black, Hispanic, and Native Americans, if you didn't know. You understand? We have to follow our God. We have to follow our king. You understand? And then we will be the ones ruling. You understand? Now, a question. No, I'm not going to even give it to you because I might just give it to you. Go ahead. Keep going.
Khan, verse 10. The hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Other question, Esdras, ask thou not.
Right. What does it mean when it says the hand of man is betwixt the heel of the hand? What does it mean when it says the hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand? Yeah, I know that stumped some of you, huh? Anybody online? What does it mean when it says the hand of? I know we heard this verse all the time. I know you. It's crazy because you hear this verse all the time. Esau is the end of the world. Jacob's the beginning. Right. What does it mean when it says the hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand? Go ahead, young man Paul.
Salakia, Salakia, don't know if I have everything together, but with the hand be Christ separating Esau and Jacob?
Not at all. Anybody else? No, I know you probably know. Let me see. Hold on. Anybody online? All right, no problem. Go ahead.
All right, with Esau being the oldest child, he come out of the womb first, and Jacob will be the end that come up. No, so he holding Esau womb because they fighting for the womb. He came out first. He trying to pull Esau down because they still fighting. Which was in the room to this day. Because Esau right now top, we're at the bottom, still trying to trying to fight with Esau to this day. So that what that means. So Esau was the oldest, come out the womb. Jacob trying to heal his heel, trying to put him down.
So no, that wouldn't be it. It says Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is that beginning. Before that, it shows you that Esau was coming in with Jacob's hand on his heel.
Right.
But this one is talking about the hand of man being in between his hand being on his heel. So that wouldn't necessarily be it. No, that wouldn't be it. Anybody else? Dang, man. I know you heard this verse so many times. You got a lot of officers online. Nobody want to give it a shot? Nobody online? Y'all quiet? Sheesh. Go ahead.
Salakia, sir. I'm kind of trying to like gain some wisdom from what you just said. Even you're saying like the hand of man is between the hand of Jacob and Esau.
Mm-hmm.
So we are in between the end of the world and the beginning of the new world.
Right, but we're not the hand of man, so you can't say we. We are Jacob. So we at the end. And Esau, which is the so-called oppressor, is at the beginning. So you have the beginning, which is Esau, and the end, which is Jacob, but the hand of man is betwixt it.
Salakia.
Betwixt means between.
Between, right, kind of God. So is that because pursuant to Obadiah, you know, the all of Esau is going to be destroyed. So all of the end of the world is going to be destroyed. So all of the other nations, is that in between?
That is exactly what it's talking about.
Kind of God.
Get up under the hand. Yeah. When it say read it again, we're going to read it. Read it again.
Salakia.
Verse 10.
You want me to start from verse 9?
No, you can read
verse 10. The hand of man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Other question, Esdras asked thou not.
Right. When it says the hand of man, that's talking about the other nations.
Right.
The other nations is betwixt the hand and the heel. What does that mean? That means that the other nations is just going to follow who's in rulership.
Right.
You understand?
Right.
Meaning that Esau is in rulership now, the other nations follow him, and that's why the other nations treat us like how they treat us.
Right.
But when we become into rulership, the other nations is going to follow us.
Right.
And they're going to treat Esau just like how we treat Esau.
Kind.
You understand? That's what that's saying with that scripture. Just so it just has, you know, all the nations into this prophecy. You understand? But yeah, you're absolutely right about that. That's the other nations. That's in between the two. Meaning that, like I said, this is a battle between Jacob and Esau, basically. You understand? And whoever comes out on top is going to be the one ruling. And we know through scriptures who's going to come out on top. But through this clash, you know what it takes to be on top and get your inheritance that was rewarded or given to you by the Lord. And that's following the Most High in Christ. You understand? That's not being filthy, weed smoker, whore, having man in the world. That's not going to get you anywhere. That's going to get you in the conditions that you're in right now. You understand? But when you follow the Most High in Christ, you're going to get the kingdom. With that, anybody got any questions? All right, we're going to go ahead and pass the class off to Officer Marcel.
I.S.U.P.K security announcements. We are the I.S.U.P.K, started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. And if you can, could you Google the address in? It helps with the algorithm of the school. It's 3353 Glenwood Road, Decatur, Georgia. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18 and 21, Malachi 3, 8 through 10. My Ishra means 10th in the Hebrew. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations. Feast of First Fruits, Monday, May 29th, 2023. Leviticus 23, 10 through 22. Remind Akim and Akwath to check to check the bulletin board in the hallway. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, to start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headbands, and scarves. And with that, give one courtesy salute to the teacher and men of Israel. Maja, please stand. Amaja, Amaja Sabat, Amaja, Rock, and translated from Hebrew to English, what we said is the Most High, the Most High. Most High, in the name of Christ, bless you. Y'all gonna top these hands down. We have a sister in the class. One courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Sarge. One courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel. Amaja, Sapia, Sarge. Amaja. Amaja Sabat. Amaja. Barak.
Yahweh Shamar Al-Thabah Hashem Yahushai.
And with that, what we said from Hebrew to English is Most High protect you in the name of Christ. Yamatat, hands down, class dismissed.
For so long you've been sighing and crying, begging for justice, and here the Lord is bringing you justice right here to your streets.
City eyes.